next speakers. And the next speaker is Lara Comi from the European Parliament, and she comes from Italy. Madam Comi, forgive me if I don't know the titles. I'm not a man of the chair, I'm a man of the street. Please.
Me too, because I am elected by preferences. So
very good, excellent.
Necessary.
Excellent.
So, first, I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity offered to me to speak in a place so eminent like this. I bring here with my emotion, my voice, and the voice of the European Parliament, the institution whereof I am a member since 2009. The European Parliament represents the citizens of now 28 countries, and I think that after 27 countries. And I am very proud to be here discussing the issue of fundamental relevance for Italy, my country, Europe, and the international community. The recent terrorist attacks in Paris and in Brussels have shocked European citizens. People don't more feel secure and protected living their everyday life. For this reason, it is important that each state gives its contribution in the fight against terrorism. Regarding Italy, there is the consciousness that, especially during the last 20 years, the state has covered an important role in the international peacekeeping and security missions. However, in the view of the present crisis and emergency risk on the global situation and more in general on the strategic international scenario, a new and scrutinized analysis on the role Italy has been playing in the international field is appropriate. When we talk about the international dimension, Italy is among the most important contributors both in terms of human resources employed and in terms of the financial contribution. However, concerning the peacekeeping operation of the last years, they have demonstrated that the military action alone could not be sufficient to reach the goal of stability. Italy is fully engaged in the defense of peace with the peacekeeping mission. At the moment, there are more than 9,000 military missions in more than 20 nations. Last February, Italy has signed an agreement with UNESCO for the Blue Helmets of the culture. A task force composed of police officers, researchers will intervene for the protection of the cultural heritage that is in danger due to conflict and natural disasters. Furthermore, Italy, after 27 years, has reformed the law of the international cooperation. This law is in line with the present times and insists on the willingness to recover the lost position of the last 2 decades in the ranking of international donors. Last, there is the project. 1 euro spent in culture and 1 in security. Terrorism cannot be won only with security measures because closing barriers means the victory of the terrorists. And if they cannot kill all of us, they try to threaten us and force us living like them. Therefore, pay attention to the security issue, but also to the initiative that make our life better. Only in this way, each euro spent in security policy could represent an investment, because we will be defending a life that deserves to be lived. In view of the wider concept of security that has developed during the last years, the aspect of cooperation and the civilian intervention in the managing of a critical situation, together with the synergy between civil and military activities, has assumed an increasingly important and effective prominence. The reason that have encouraged Italy, and they still are inciting Italy to participate to peacekeeping operation, have different grounds. From the more traditional as the promotion of security inside the different geopolitical contexts, to those relative to the international recognition, to those others to the participation of the multilateral context and alliance. It is necessary to activate an instrument of peace that will become a priority also in the terms of financial, economic, investment for the country. These considerations are strictly related to the global dimension that the fight against terrorists should be acquired. Italy cannot accept from this responsibility, and instead it must work for boosting more and more the relationship and the cooperation beyond the already existing international organism towards Europe. The construction of a joint action is required, which outcome will be the construction of a common European army with the same standards in terms of intelligence, military instruments, and communal priority. Italy has a strong legal reference point to look at Article 11 of the Italian Constitution that is built up on the concept of the repudiation of the war as a way to damage and subordinate our people. Article 11 fosters the promotion and the maintenance of peace, the guarantee for security, and the duty to provide international justice. Today I am here to offer my contribution and testimony as Italian citizen and as a representative of a European institution. And that is why I believe that the role of politicals and institutions could not be limited to read what is happening and continue complaining about difficulties and deadlock. The only possible solution is made up of two steps. The first, we can to carefully analyze the critical situation, and the second step is consistent in starting an action, provide concrete initiative and programs. Some propose to build walls to control the border, but this means returning to the Europe of the past, and this is not what Europe and the world needs. Of course, the immigration issue must be faced, managed, and resolved, but it is not necessarily relative to the terrorist event. Often, terrorists that strike the heart of Europe are born and grow up in Europe, and this is the issue. How is possible to avoid that the lure of the Daesh recruiters, its vulnerable and less structured minds? We need to improve school education and culture. At the end, we can win against the terror with a big culture exchange. Terrorists would like to kill us, or culture, but without having such results. They would like to oblige us living like them, as desperate people who hate life. The Europe we want is a place where people can be free, can achieve their aspiration, the place where everybody should not have fear. The land of opportunity and not of the terror. It is not simply, but Europe must win this barbarism to still exist. We Europeans need a change of strategy. Fiscal union, political union, and defense union, common European army, and are the first step. I am a rapporteur for this opinion about the European Union on defense, and I will be so happy that the European Parliament, the Commission, will concretize these aspects to be more secure. It is necessary to change the treaty for a new, stronger and fairer Europe for all citizens. Or we will have the failure of the European Union, with the great risk of the interruption of such a long period of peace. I have been directly elected by citizens. For this reason, I have the right and the duty to fight to change the Europe. I ask to all of you to help us, because only together we can win this challenge.
Thank you.